Hi, I'm Lakeisha,
Hey, I'm Natalie.
and this is
Life cracks us up. Are you picking up what we're putting down? Are you enjoying the content? Is there feedback you'd like to provide or topics you'd like to discuss? How about you give us a call and share your thoughts? 757-504-4649. That's 757-504-4649. We would love to hear from you. Hello, howdy to all of you out there in internet land. Right? Wouldn't it be internet land? TV
It is
land,
now,
radio
and
land,
even internet land.
internet
Oh,
land.
we're gonna just jump right into it then, since you said
Yeah,
back there in
girl.
TV land. So my would you rather question. So it says, would you rather find out your life was secretly a reality TV show,
Truman Show.
or yes, Truman Show, or that every choice you ever made was a result of someone flipping a coin?
Would I rather be living the Truman Show, find out my whole life was a reality show, or find out that all of my decisions were being made by somebody flipping a coin? Ooh. Um, I'd rather the reality show because at least these are my decisions, even though it's a reality show. They're my decision. Although in the reality show, things are placed so that you would make, I guess it's still a coin. I don't know. I think I'd rather the reality show rather
Hmm.
than just
Okay.
the entire concept of someone flipping a coin and making those
Making all your
decisions for
decisions.
me. Yeah, at least in a reality show, they're creating scenarios, maybe. Well, the Truman Show, the only thing that it was just that, like, you couldn't go beyond, what happens if we drive all the way? You know what I mean? But all the decisions in there were his. So I think I'd rather
True.
have that because I'm at least making my own decisions.
For me, I'm going with the person flipping the coin because
Really.
we talked about earlier. My browser history may be clean, but my past may not. And if everybody was watching,
Yeah. But okay, so all right, so it's to find out the life we have now
yeah,
for it to have been a
It's all been a
reality show.
reality. Yes,
And
everybody's been
everybody's
watching
been watching. Good point. Yeah, no. Flip the coin, 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 flip the coin.
all
Right
day,
now,
every
flip one,
day.
flip one. Please, please flip a coin.
Right? Yeah. Do not. Oh my
Yeah, yeah,
gosh.
yeah. I see what
Oh
you're saying.
man, no.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that it was like the Truman Show, like
Yeah. Oh,
like that.
wholesome.
But you're saying
Yeah, wholesome
this
like that.
actual
This
life
life,
that I've had.
yes,
Oh
yes. Yeah,
no.
no.
Oh no. Oh no. No. I can't stress that enough. Oh no.
No,
I don't even want
exactly.
anybody
Flip
to see
that
the
coin.
last 36 hours.
Dang. Well, your life sounds a little more exciting than mine.
No, wait, let me think. No, maybe the last week. There was some sketchy business within the week. So
Wow, look at
yeah,
you.
no, flip a coin.
Yeah. Girl, my
All
20s.
day.
My 20s, like,
Yeah, ooh, girl. Farmingdale,
I lived a
Illinois.
little. I lived
Farm
some.
my college years.
Mm. See, your college years were my military years. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
go with the coin toss like you did.
I think we need to move on because I might divulge too many secrets. I used to say because of my past, I couldn't run for public office, but now,
Oh, who gives a shit now?
yeah, I know I cares now.
Yeah,
I'm still in the minor league.
yeah, you can be a criminal, a rapist, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm good. I'm good. But still,
Yeah,
don't watch. Don't
yeah,
watch the
yeah, yeah.
show.
So I'm giving school teacher vibes today. I'm feeling very school teacher esque.
Yes.
Just wanted to throw that out because you threw it out. I'm going to tell a story real quick before we get on topic because it literally just happened before logging in. So for some reason, my youngest feels like she needs to come home and take a nap every day after school. I don't even want to say it's just her because my oldest was the same way. She would come home from school and immediately like, oh, I gotta go to sleep, whatever. So this was about 5:30, I guess. She decided she needed to lay down. It might have even been before that. I don't know. So she goes and lays down. Of course, you and I were talking for a bit. So just now I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, the trash has to go out. But she still sleeps. So I go in and I wake her up and I'm like, hey, honey, I was like, it's 7:30. I was like, the trash has to go out. I was like, let's go. So she's like, huh? And I'm like, yeah, like, let's go. So she hops up. I went in my room. I was doing some stuff, but I don't hear the door opening for the trash. So I'm like, hey, like, what are you doing? And she's like, huh? I said, you haven't taken the trash out yet. But we're in opposite sides of opposite ends of the place. So I see her bathroom light on. So I go in her bathroom. The kid is washing her face, brushing her teeth, fully dressed.
Oh
She thought she
no.
slept all night and that I was waking her. Because now it explains why she was like, huh? She thought she was late for school because we usually get out of here at like 7:37. Baby was dressed, everything. Bonnet off,
Oh.
everything. Hair down, face all freshened. I was like, and she kept saying, like, are you kidding with me? Because now at 7:30, it does look like it's
It's still
7:30 in
like
the morning
it's still
outside.
daylight.
She's like, are you messing with me? And I'm like, look at the setup here, kid. Would I be joking with you? Like if I'm like on camera and everything. I was like, get the trash out. Yeah, it just happened. Just happened. Oh yeah, yeah. I love them.
We talk about our kids a lot. We do.
Yeah.
And we talk about like my village is comprised of three huts and there are
Mm,
three kids. We homeschool two, one's public school.
mm,
So I'm going to talk about the sacrifices I make
mhm.
for children. So I think some places like entertainment places that have off seasons, they offer this thing now called homeschool week. So one week we went to Great Wolf Lodge because it was like during the school week where kids can
Mhm.
go. So we all went there. So my daughter comes and sending me the thing about, oh, they've got homeschool week at Lake Caverns. I want to take the kids. And I'm the official chauffeur, whether I want to go or not. So I was like, fine,
Mhm.
whatever. It's for the kids. And so we head out to go to Luray Caverns, and I did not do my research, and I did not realize there's mountains between here and there.
The caverns
And I don't
part
know if
might have gave that away.
it
The
might have gave it away.
volcano thing might have gave that away.
Yeah, I don't think that far ahead. I don't think that far.
Right,
Because there's no mountains where I live.
right, right,
I'm in
right.
Virginia. The place is in Virginia, but I'm afraid of heights. I don't know if I ever said that. Afraid of heights. Okay, so we're riding along, and it's fine. Everybody's singing and laughing and joking. Ooh, and all of a sudden, we start going up, up, and then there's nothing over there. Like over. It's like, when
Mhm.
I tell you, I am holding the steering wheel like this, and at one point, okay, we talked about Jim Carrey before. You remember you saw Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah,
I know you did. And
yeah, of
when Jim
course.
Carrey, I think, was driving that night and the road was going, the sign was
Yeah,
like the road like
yeah,
this. When I
yeah.
was driving on that road, it was windy. It was straight up the cliff with a part over here that was not land. And they had signs that said, watch for fallen rocks,
Yes.
which makes sense. However, I'm thinking for them to be fallen rocks, at one point they were falling rocks.
Oh, it said watch for fallen, like ones
Fallen,
that are already on the
Falen.
road.
Right, right, right.
Oh,
But they had to
oh,
get there sometime, right? So I should probably watch
yeah.
for falling rocks as well. So when I tell you, okay, so my problem was GPS. GPS gives you the quickest route. So I
Right.
didn't know to look around. But it was not the quickest route because I was driving about 3 miles per hour. And at one point, somebody was coming this and they were blowing their horn because I was in the middle of the road. I can't. I can't.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
some places, it was like it's like I don't know, like back in the woods country type thing. So I
Yeah.
wanted to get off the road at one point, but I was like, I feel like I'm in the hills have eyes. Like,
Oh my gosh.
and then at one point there was a truck behind me and I felt bad. And I was like, well, next time I get some space, I think I'll get over and let him go. But then when I look back there, I'm like, that looked like the truck from Jeepers Creepers. So I'm terrorizing myself the entire
Now you
time. It's
can't
like,
stop at all because
oh,
he's gonna
I
get you.
couldn't. Jeepers Creepers
Oh
or
my
the hills have
gosh.
eyes, or I was going to fall off the cliff.
Oh
I'm
my
telling you, when I got
gosh.
there, I was like, I don't know how we're getting home. Somebody's gonna have to
Oh
pay for a
yeah, because
plane ticket or
riding back,
something.
you're on the
Yeah,
outside.
I know. Well, no, both times it was like it was, one's here, one's there. It's like, and then at some points, this thing said 55 miles per hour. I was like, not in this life. And then, of course, coming around the corner, I was like, I'm
Girl,
sure somebody on a bicycle could have.
you you were that person that I was mad at when we went to Luray Caverns and the
Girl, I was like
traffic
up the
was
mountain,
creeping.
like, I think I can. I think I can. Go.
Yeah, you were that person we talked about.
Oh yes, I'm telling you,
Mhm.
I feared for my life, and I'm thinking this is half the village. There's 8 of us total. There are 4 of us in this car. I was like,
If we
oh,
go off the cliff, what are the other four gonna do?
girl, I'm telling you, it's real. And I mean, I was shaking. I was so bent out of shape. And then to make it even worse, I'm in charge of making hotel reservations. So I pick a close hotel, whatever, where the kids have to have a pool. So of course the hotel is farther away, not closer, but I'm still again going up and around and up and around. I was
Mhm.
like, y'all gonna get in this pool and you gonna swim. Oh, you gonna swim hard. But luckily, I was telling my husband, I was like, I'm not coming home.
Yeah,
He was like, just find a different route. It was like less than 30 minutes longer. I was like, God
yeah,
dang it.
yeah,
So yeah, so obviously we made it back, but I told him never again.
yeah.
I don't care nothing about them kids seeing stalactites and stalagmites.
The cabins were
Yeah,
dope
grow
though,
your
right?
own. It
It
was
was
nice.
dope
Oh,
though,
oh,
right?
oh. Yes, it was. And also, I remember you talking about the wishing well. So I'm standing there, and all of a sudden I was just like flicking money in there, and I was like, I'm making my wish. And at one point, my daughter's like, "Where are the kids?" I was like, "My wish came true."
It works. It works.
My grandson,
That's funny.
at one point, he was like, "Let's go before Grandma goes broke."
Girl, I told you when we were at the wishing well, we were throwing our little monies in there, and then
There was
we
dollar
walked
bills in
away.
there.
Yeah, that was us. That was us. But we started walking away, and then we were like, "Oh my gosh, we forgot to ask for money for the girls' college." Girl, we went back to the wishing well and was throwing our little singles in there, like, "Please, Lord, let us get scholarships and grants and all
Mm.
that good stuff without having to
Yeah.
take loans." Hmm.
Girl, I sure was in there saying some words. I was like, yeah. Like I said before, I'm the driver, so I'm the chauffeur for everything for the kids. Like, one of them tore ACL, so we've been going to physical therapy twice a week. Yeah, in the beginning, she had to see the doctor as well. I told her because she thought he was cute. That's why stuff kept happening. So we ended up with 2 surgeries, not one.
Oh my
So all
goodness.
that medical. Earlier this week, the other one had surgery. I was there for that all day. So today we went and got the stuff. It was for her nose. She got the stuff taken out today. So
Deviated. Yeah. Oh, the
yeah,
packing and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All that packing and then they spraying all stuff up her nose. She's like, "Hold my hand!"
Mm,
Like, yeah. So I had to go. That was my day today, doing all that running around for her stuff. It's like
yeah.
kids.
Yeah. The sacrifices
Yeah.
we make for our kids. I do you feel like the kids appreciate it?
Ah, I don't know. I don't. Like you always say, they feel entitled to stuff. So I mean, if they want to go somewhere and they get to go have fun, I think most time they just think it's a given.
Mm-hmm.
That we're gonna take them places and do things. And I don't know if they realize, especially like I said for me, because I was an empty nester, and now, I'm responsible for one, two, or three kids at a time. Like even
Yeah, which
my
is crazy.
grandson's in jujitsu, and he grows like a weed. So he needs a new uniform, but they're not gonna send it to the cleaners to put the new patches
Yeah,
on. Grandma can do that.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
I'm sewing stuff, I'm chauffeuring, I'm making stuff for people because it's just
yeah,
like, girl.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes I get tired, but the
yeah.
kids still gotta
Listen,
go.
I think
Yeah.
that mine are appreciative. I do think that they're grateful. In the same sentence, I feel like they feel like entitled to it. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
but not in the worst way though. They've learned they're that way because that's the way
Yeah, because you've done it
I made that. I made that. You know
right.
what I mean? Because I do make sure that, you know, you know me, I'm a big thing on milestone birthdays, 13, 16, 18, 21. I got you. 13, it's usually like, a party or like something to acknowledge 13. 16, you get either a sweet 16 or you get a trip. You get to pick the trip as long as it's reasonable. 18, actually not even 18, but high school graduation is another trip, and college graduation is either a trip with me or I'll pay for you to go on a trip with friends. So they do expect it, but that's because I introduced it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They didn't just wake
Oh
up
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
well, I'm going to get this or I deserve this or and there are components to that. Your grades have to be, where they need to be. Your behavior has to be, you know what I'm saying? So I do think that they're appreciative, but I do also feel like they expect it. But that's because I've
That's
made
what
it
you've
that
done.
they should expect it because I'm rewarding, your I'm celebrating your 13, your 16, your graduation. Those are big deals for me.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel you what you're saying because yeah, the expectation of spring break, where are we going? Summer trip,
Right.
where we're going.
Hmm.
So I feel you definitely because that's what you've done. But at the same
Hmm.
time, I still don't have to take you. I ain't gotta
That's
do
true.
nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I told
Yeah.
him, I said next time I'm not driving farther than Virginia Beach. I was like, I just because I'm gonna be shit
Yeah.
for a while. Oh,
So we drive most places that we go because it's just less expensive. It's money we get to save, to do other
mhm.
stuff. But
Yeah, because usually when I think about a trip, I usually figure, okay, well, how long do I want my husband to drive? Because I ain't driving. But so I'll do a radius. I
yeah,
have the thing to give me a radius around here, and then I'll look and
yeah.
see what we might want to do. Because that's usually how
Hmm.
come it's like, honey, how many hours do you want to drive?
Yeah,
That's going to
yeah.
determine
That's
where we're
fair. If he's the
going.
one doing the driving, you
Yeah.
may end up in Virginia Beach
Yep.
and it's still away from home.
Yeah, because we
So,
did that one year. We got a hotel down there. I took him to the aquarium and some other
mhm,
place. I don't know. But I was like, it doesn't have to be
yeah,
huge every time. You just get to get
yeah,
away, have some
yeah,
fun,
yeah.
get to eat out more than once a week. It's like,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah. Oh
I'm going
gosh.
this weekend just to head up an hour and 15 minutes up the road to Corey's house just to hang out. Nyla will be here with Jay. You know what I'm saying? Just so that I can just decompress for a quick minute, do
Yes.
some
And you
adult
need
stuff.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
and yeah, because that's it. And I know, like when I first introduced it to you, it's like, well, I don't consider it a sacrifice, and I understand that, but you do things that you could have done something else with that time.
yeah,
If you didn't have kids. So,
yeah,
sometimes it is because, like I said, you do have to take time out for yourself because
yeah,
if you fall apart, you can't take care of them. So you
yeah,
need that mental break.
yeah.
Yeah, I need to get one of those. No, I'm gonna need one after our family vacation. I'm gonna-
Yeah, that's the other thing. When you go on vacation with a family, you need a vacation from the vacation.
yeah, because this is our first with everyone.
Yeah.
So
And
we'll
as
see.
in my situation, as the only adult, I'm in charge of everything.
Everything.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I need a vacation from the vacation that I've given the
Hmm.
kids because
Them. Right. That
now,
was their vacation.
yeah, yeah,
You were working it.
right. Plan it, travel it, like, I was like when all of us went on the cruise, which I will say I would do again because we really did have a good time. Um, I'm so sorry. The later it gets, you know how I get. But I was literally in charge of. Okay, let's get off the boat. Let's go on the excursion. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like it was me doing everything. Which the older they get, I guess the less I'll have to do because I'm
Yeah.
definitely not going to stop. Vacationing. Like I'm not going to do that. We have such a good time when we go places. So yeah.
Let's
Do
see
you
here.
have any moments where like you're as a parent you have like fears that you have to acknowledge or overcome or conquer as a parent because you're always responsible for someone's well-being, like
Well, besides like the fear I talked about before, the physical fear. I mean, I do fear for their futures right now, like you said, because kids feel entitled and they're lazy. It's like, when we were growing up, we wanted to get out and get a job and,
yeah,
get started on life. And now I think because we take care of them so well, they just think it's going to continue to happen.
yeah,
Because we've got one about to graduate, and I'm like, what are you going to do?
what's the
Like we've
plan?
been talking about this. Yeah, it's like, you ask like, hopefully going to college. Hopefully, like, are you going to college or you're not going to college? Like, you
I
are a
mean, it's
senior.
kind of late. Like by now
Yeah,
you should
like,
know what schools you're
yeah,
applying to, your extracurriculars, you're starting to write letters, essays,
yeah.
like
Well, she, we had to push, so all of that got done, and she got accepted to every school she applied for. And we were like,
nice.
okay, what's next?
Hmm.
Financial aid package. What did they say to you?
Scholarships. Have you
Like,
applied for
like, had you?
scholarships? Yeah.
I sent her all these, like, did you apply for these scholarships I gave you to, gave you the information? It's like, it's like pulling teeth. It's like, but and
Yeah.
I keep saying, what do you really want to do? Because we
Yeah.
talk about college. I said, but that's not the only option. Because when my daughter was
Right.
young, I thought it was the only option. I pushed her to college and it didn't really work out. But now we know there are other avenues. I just need you to make a choice that is going to set you up for success.
Right. Right.
I said, because you don't want to be around here ringing up groceries all, your whole life. I said,
Excuse
it's
me.
a job. Somebody's got to do it. But,
Yeah. Let's
start out
not.
striving for something. Yeah,
Right.
that's not the ultimate goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what
I
I tell them. I said, every job is valuable. However,
Yeah.
what do you want to do?
Yeah. I am in agreement. Number one, I don't think college is for everyone. And number two, I don't think that everything should be based on college education. But that's kind of what I was saying with the um college not being for everyone and that every job shouldn't be based on whether or not you have a college degree because some people know the work, you know what I'm saying, are fully capable of doing the work, but because you don't have a degree, you can't get the job. But without the job, you can't pay the loans back, but you needed the loans because you
Oh,
had to go to college.
it's
Like
a,
it is a
yeah, vicious
vicious
cycle.
circle.
Vicious
It
cycle.
is. It
Yeah,
is. College
it
is
is. And
bullshit.
yeah, it is. Because like you said, you're not even guaranteed to get a job in that field. And what I've learned on the other side, traveling with my daughter, she goes to these conferences, it's for these entrepreneurs, and they make sense. It's like, you can't write off college on your taxes, and I found out you can't file bankruptcy with them either.
Nope.
But
You cannot. It's a federal
but
law.
yeah, but you can write off your conference, your business trip, your the training that you're getting for on this business side. You can
Mm-hmm.
write it off. I was like, well, because like I
Mm-hmm.
said, my daughter started out in college, and it wasn't for her, and she still got those stupid loans.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she's not doing anything in that field that she was going towards. But now, she's doing her own thing, and like I said, the conferences and the business related stuff. as an entrepreneur, so she wasted that time and money on
Yeah.
college. And but like I said, but some people need to. Like I need a doctor to go, the lawyer,
I
they
need,
need to
yeah,
go.
yeah,
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 but like you said, the trades. Mm, the,
yeah, yeah.
some
But
I
you
told you
know,
my pipes
one,
burst,
yeah, yes,
and
I meant to ask
yeah,
you what
yeah, yeah.
happened with that. We're so off topic.
Oh yeah. Well, no, we're not. We're talking about trades. That's a trade. I'm sure the guy
Yeah.
didn't go to college to be
Look,
able
well,
to climb.
I'm trying to
The,
find out what happened with the pipes, but go
oh,
ahead.
oh
Yes,
yeah,
you're right.
yeah. So it costs like three something just for him to go into the crawl space. He's like, it's gonna cost you 300 for me to get under there, and then
Yeah,
we'll see. And then,
yeah.
so he goes under there, and it's like, it was an old pipe they used, whatever type of material they used back in the whenever that they found out was not good. It
Hmm.
burst, whatever. So he's like, okay, well I can go in there, cut it out and put the new piece in there,
Yeah.
whatever. He's like, all right. So he was under there, what, minutes? You know, nowhere near an hour.
Hmm.
$1,200.
And
twelve
imagine owning your
hundred
own company,
dollars.
not working for
Yeah,
anyone, but
exactly.
owning
If
your
you
own company.
and that's your money.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we're not even going to talk about the repair of everything, the water mitigation and all that. Yeah, I will definitely
Hmm.
tell you more offline. But
Yes.
it's amazing how much they charge for that
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Yeah.
It's like our air conditioner. One time something happened to it. My husband's out there watching the guy fix it. So the next time something happened, he was
He
out there
knew what to
himself.
do. That's right.
Because
Yeah.
these trades can make a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Electricians and plumbers, they rip out your wall and don't even have to put it back.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
don't sleep on a trade. Do not look down on that handyman because
Yep.
you might need him.
Listen, I don't feel I like I said something a second ago and I was like, college is bullshit. It is to an extent. You know what job I wish required a college education? A police officer. I
Hmm?
feel like this is why I feel like even as to get into the academy, I feel like you should need a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, policing, something like that, because I honestly feel like that will weed out people who shouldn't have that fucking job. The guys who, and girls, but mostly guys, who come out of high school and don't have shit going for themselves. So they just
Mm.
go to the police academy,
Oh,
pass all
that's
the
scary.
tests, and become a police officer. And
Well,
now
they
they're
give
the
him a
dick in the
gun.
street that I got to protect
Yes.
my black child from. Those ones, and again, this is
Yeah.
in no way saying every officer is that way. Because out of 100 officers, 98 of them are dope as shit. There's two that fuck it up for the 98.
Everybody.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
those two would be weeded out
We-
if they had to go to fucking college for 4 years because they're too
Yeah.
lazy to do it.
Yeah.
That's
You
all.
got a
I'm off
point
my
there.
soapbox.
You got a
I'm off
point. But
my
yeah, so
soapbox.
yeah. So people who aren't willing to put in the effort for something, then yeah, there should be a way to weed them out. Especially like I
Yeah.
said, um, careers that really affect people. That
Yeah.
can have a life altering effect on people. So
Yeah.
yeah, that works for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. And
But
again, it's in no way trying to bash the entire population of police because it's not that way. But the ones who are assholes, they could easily
yeah.
have been weeded out and identified early. But that's just me. I always check my earrings now because I don't want Nubia to say
I know.
anything to me. Like, she'll like text me, fix your earrings.
Well, since we're on accessories, what you got on your feet?
Ooh, nothing really crazy today. I think, I think they're birds. You can't really
I
see,
can't
can
really
you?
tell. Can't really tell. I go with birds. If you want them to be birds, they'll be birds.
I think they're like the ducks that fly south for the winter.
Nope.
That's what
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
And that's what I think.
So
Yeah.
mine.
What you got?
See,
Oh, I love
I need to get some
those.
new ones, but they're like what, like ice cream with the sprinkles.
But you
Got
know
my
I
little
love
waffle
the
cone.
yellow.
So I was just saying that I got to get more socks. And the craziest thing is, this is the most I ever wear socks. It's for the sock
Yeah,
cam.
yeah,
But
because
I
you
can't
take
be
your
seen
shoes
in this.
off.
I can't be seen in the same socks twice.
Yeah. Girl, I'll be pulling my socks out like, did I wear these?
I know
Did I
me.
wear these? You know where I
Yes,
like
actually, I've
thrift
been trying to
shops?
put them aside. Where?
Five Below. They just
No.
have the cutest little, like they always got little cute designs.
No. Oh, well, I'll go in there and check it out because, like I said, I definitely need some. Because where was I?
Five Below.
Vegas. Remember Vegas when I called you from the sock store?
Yes. Yes.
It was overwhelming. It's like you have so many socks. I had no concept of what to get. So I
Like,
said, but if I
these.
ever that you did yourself,
No, actually, I
said
did
if I
not. I
get
went to
to
the shop. Sophia
not
did
those,
those.
okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Sophia, thank you,
I did
Sophia.
these. I did these.
Okay,
Yeah.
but if I'm ever in a sock store again, I'm just gonna keep calling until you answer.
Can't go wrong with socks. That's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, like what you got a box for Christmas? Corey gave you was the
Christmas socks.
Advent calendar
I
or something?
still wear
Yeah.
them. And I did them every day the way I was supposed to. I wore a new pair every day. So, yeah, I still wear them. Like, even though they're
Yeah,
very
she's
Christmassy, but I do. I still wear
yeah.
them.
Told you
Yeah.
I made sure when I went to the hospital that time, went to the emergency room, I didn't know they were really gonna keep me, but I made sure I had some cute socks on. And I actually got a comment
See?
about it. I don't remember which ones I had on, but yeah, I
See?
was like, let me put some of these socks on.
Yeah. Yep. When I
So
go to the
now when
doctor
I
and
go
stuff
out,
like that.
yep, just in case. Ooh, so next time I have my uh dang, what's the exam called?
Oh, your OB?
Next time I put
When
my
your feet are in
yeah,
the
well next time I
stirrups?
put my feet in the stirrups. Oh, I know which ones I'm gonna wear.
Please
You
don't
know
say
which ones I'm
ones
gonna wear.
the ones that say fuck off or something like
Yes,
that.
yes, I will. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I have a
Yes.
doctor's appointment on Monday. I'll be wearing socks. Like
Oh my
that's my
goodness.
thing. That's my
But
thing.
side
And
note,
I love my feet, but I always have to have on socks when I go to the
socks.
OB. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing, everything's cold in there.
Not
But
only that, I
it's
don't
like
know. Your feet don't look pretty in stirrups ever. Maybe all like
that is the
curved.
worst. Scoot down, scoot down, scoot,
Yeah.
scoot down.
Come on, a little bit further. Okay,
Come on,
you're good. You're
a
good.
little bit more.
Just get your tush right on the edge there. I be feeling like I'm getting ready. If I cough, I'm gonna
Gonna
fall
fall
right off
off.
the damn edge. Oh my gosh. And then my old doctor, she used to like when it was time to get up, she would hold my hand like this, and help me lift up so I could scoot back. Phew,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Oh, bless you. You're holding
Thank
on that
you.
since last episode.
I don't know. I don't have allergies, but I do have a reaction when the season changes. It's not like
Mm.
I guess technically that's an allergy, but I don't
It
have to
doesn't
take
keep going.
yeah, I don't have to
Yeah.
take an allergy med or anything like that. It just gets me, that pollen will get
Hmm.
up in there and I'll get sneezy for a little bit, but I don't have to take shots and all that shit. Like,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. When I'm got allergy shots, so a couple of times I'm slated to drive there. So
yeah, see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
these kids, it's got everything going on. Like I said, jujitsu. We've had dance, Girl Scouts, 4-H, Boy Scouts. I've been at a Boy Scout meeting. I was like, yeah, we did. Oh, we did another mountain trip for 4-H. I don't know where that one was either, but I was like, God dang it, these kids. So the next year I told her, don't
Why
even
do you
apply for that.
always want to be in the
No,
mountains?
I do not want to be in the mountains. I just don't know where the mountains
Can't
are in
tell.
Virginia. I just
I
don't.
can't
So I
tell.
told her, when the next year rolled around, I said, don't you even apply for that. Don't you?
I just told my
Because
youngest.
I am not taking you.
Yeah, I just told her like, either you pick an activity for next year, or I'm gonna pick it for you. Because what we're not doing is just coming home and taking naps every day.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when my oldest was in school, I was like, you better find something to do after school. So, she cheered,
Mm-hmm.
but this one has no desire to do anything. And I'm like, oh,
Mm,
no way. Mm-mm. No
mm-mm.
such thing as idle
Yeah.
time. I've given you
Yeah.
had this
But
whole year with the move and everything. I've been kind of, taking it easy, but she used to be in band and she was in drama. Here,
ah,
no. So
Nothing. Oh, so some of that stuff can lead to scholarships as well.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought my oldest was gonna cheer. She had me so excited. She went to the meeting and everything. Then she
Oh,
was like, "Yeah." Then she was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it." I was like, I was so mad.
oh.
I was more
Hmm.
disappointed. I wasn't mad. I was disappointed because
Yeah.
I wanted that for her, but
Yeah.
I can't dictate my children's lives, is what they keep telling me. But
But anywho,
the
we do a
sacrifices we
lot.
make for our
Yeah.
children.
We do, we do a lot.
Yeah,
We do
even
a lot.
down to like where we live, my daughter's bus stop is it's a nice little walk. Um, So I drive her to the bus stop every morning, me and every other parent whose kid is at that
Mm.
bus stop. Everyone drives up there. We all park on both
Wow.
sides. We put our flashers on, and there's an app that tells us when the bus is in the neighborhood, when it's
Oh
close.
wow.
And when I get that app, she hops out, and then I come back home and finish, and go back to work or whatever. But luckily, I'm in a position where I can do that because when it was cold, or it's raining, and even in the afternoons, she'll walk home in the afternoon. But if it's raining or something, I go pick her up because it's a little distance. Like they got a nice little walk. And one of the
Wow.
people that I see come to the bus stop, they come from way down the street. Why the bus is here, I don't know. I don't even know why it doesn't come through here because I've seen a bus for like the younger kids, a full size bus stops right outside my window,
Hmm.
but this bus will not. Now, I don't know if just not enough parents have complained. You know me, I'm a Karen when it comes to certain things, but I
But
don't
when it
know.
comes to my
Yeah,
kids, I'm a Karen.
yeah, yeah. But that's every morning I do that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I take her up there every morning.
And she say thank you every morning. No. You better be grateful every day.
Not
But
any
yes, I
morning.
mean, yeah,
Not
it's
any
like,
morning because it's
but
expected.
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And you
Yeah.
can't be mad because you did it. So,
Yep. Yep.
but
Exactly.
but you, like I said, you have to do for your kids because you
Yeah.
just can't not.
Yeah. And I think the whole thank you thing, like, I'm not opposed to you saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is our everyday thing. But I really don't have to. Like, you could walk
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying? But there was this little boy that we used to see all the time, and I'm talking about it would be like 35 degrees outside. First of all, there was this one little boy, 30 something degrees. I have pictures, and he's in shorts and a hoodie, sitting on the
Stop it.
concrete. No, I have pictures sitting on the concrete in the and then he's all like huddled over, and I'm like, why won't you just put on pants?
Yeah. Why your mama didn't tell you to put on pants?
Listen, I don't know what their situation is at home. I don't know, maybe the mom's not home because he I never saw anybody out there with him. But I was like, i I never got the rationale behind it. But anyway, there was this little boy that we would see, not him, but it was another little boy that used to come to the bus stop, and I would see him, and he would. None of the kids wear coats; they always have hoodies. But he would be standing there like freezing. And one day, I was like, "Sweetie, do you want to get in the car?" Like it was so cold. It was probably one of the
Hmm.
coldest days that we had this whole winter here. And I was like, "Do you want to get in the car?" So he was like, "Yes, ma'am." So he got in the car, and then the bus never came.
Oh
So
gosh.
I think it was one of those days that it was like a delay or something, and the bus never came. So of course I'm getting ready to drive her to school, but he's in my car, and I was like, "Listen, I want to take you to school, but I need someone to know you're in my car." You know what I mean? Like if God forbid something happened or something, I
Hmm.
still to this day don't know that little boy's name. He told it to me because I asked him, but I don't
Oh.
remember it. But I was like, I need someone to know that you're in my car. And he was like, "Oh, my dad is home, but he's asleep." I was like, "All right, we're just gonna chance it." I said, "But when you get home, please
Hmm.
let someone know that you were in my car, blah, blah, blah." So then I just started seeing him out there, and I just told him, "Look, when we come out here, just get in the car, just hop in." And that's what he started doing. In
Oh.
the winter, he would hop in the car and he would just sit there in the back seat. When they got out every single day, he would say, "Thank you, have a good day." every day.
Oh,
My own kid didn't say it, but he would say it every day. Yep. And I'd be like, thank you, you too. Bye. Tell my own kid, be
yeah.
like, bye.
I know, right.
Like, bye, sweetie. Have a great day, honey. You too. Later.
Bye. Oh, but
But
like I
yeah,
said, what we got them accustomed to, because we do it because we care,
yeah,
and so
yeah,
every once in a while, they'll say thank you.
yeah.
Like the one, I think she. Okay, we'll at the end, this is gonna be the last one. So we were talking about before things we wish we knew when we were younger. I wish I
Mm.
learned to cook. So we all know that I can't cook. So, sometimes dinner's okay and sometimes it's not. So she would be like, mm. She's on comments or whatever. I was like, okay, I got you. I said in December, I was like, I'm not cooking next year.
On your
So we
own.
started out and she was in there, doing her thing, asking me questions. I was like, go on TikTok and find something. And so, she was trying. And some days I looked at that and I was like, mm. So when I went back to cooking, she'd be like, thank you for dinner.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I always get thank yous when we go out to dinner. There's no question about
Mm,
that because I do think
yeah, I
they
know.
realize that that's that's a treat kind of thing. You know what I mean? But like maybe the bus stop, it's like this is our thing. Like this is what we do, so it's not
Yeah,
a big deal. But when we
yeah.
go out to dinner or like we go on our trips and stuff like that, I always get a thank you, and I'm like you're welcome.
We
Yeah, I
do it
guess the
anyway.
moral of the story is we're great.
We're awesome.
That's what I get from everything we just talked about. We're dope.
Exactly. I concur. I strongly concur. But this, as usual, has been phenomenal.
I
You know,
concur. And don't
maybe we
forget
should thank
to,
our kids. Like, share, subscribe, follow.
yeah. But yes, thank our kids for what?
For
Oh, I'm
inspiring
sorry.
this show.
Oh, I was just gonna say, let me rephrase. Thank our kids for what? Yes. Yes.
Without them, we would not have had this episode.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Well, I appreciate that we have shared experiences and that we relate on so many levels. It does make the conversation runs very smoothly. And
Yes.
I invite anybody in our, who have kids. I think most people our age have older kids, obviously.
Yeah.
At 53, rarely do any of them have a 13-year-old. But if you have some stories, share them. We'll talk it through. We'll talk about you. We'll talk about your kids. If you can't do it, we can. So,
We
yeah.
can. Absolutely.
On that note, darlingest.
Bye.
Are you picking up what we're putting down? If so, now's the time to like, follow, subscribe, and share. We'd also love to hear from you. Give us a call at 757-504-4649, or you can email us at lifecracksusup@gmail.com, or just drop us a comment. If you're so inclined, do all three.
Thank you for hanging out with us. Be sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe. And look for a new episode every Wednesday.